We had an ACE school at our church from grades kindergarten through 12, and we probably had 200 kids at one time, which was pretty good for a little small church. So one day I got to looking around in my porch. It was about 100 foot long and 8 to 10 foot wide, I can't remember. And it was rotten, and I thought, I got to replace all of that. So I made up my mind to go get me some hard oak at the lumber mill and replace the hard oak that was there, because a lot of it was broken and rotted and falling through. So I went and got my materials, and I got up there one Saturday morning, and the Lord had spoken to me. He said, now look, before you get started, I want you to go buy a drill and a skill saw. I said, Lord, I got a drill and a skill saw. He said, I want you to go buy a drill and a skill saw. He had to tell me 3 times. Okay, I'm hard-headed. And I said, all right, I'll go buy a drill and a skill saw. So I went and bought a drill and a skill saw, and I pulled up in front of the building and opened my tailgate, put my drill and skill saw on my tailgate. And no sooner had I done that than this truck pulls up right beside me. And this man I'd never seen before looks at me and he says, Pastor, what are you doing? Now, I have no idea how he knew I was the pastor, but I thought it was very interesting because the people in my church didn't even call me pastor. So nevertheless, I said, well, I'm fixing to refinish some of this porch out here because a lot of the boards are rotten, and I have to replace the porch itself and the steps and things. And he said, you're not a carpenter. Well, now I could carpenter, and I wasn't too bad. I wasn't a great carpenter, but I could do some little old menial work. And he said, aren't you the pastor? And I said, yes. And he said, look, I'm a carpenter. And what I want you to do is I want you to go home and study the Word of God and get ready for Sunday morning. I looked at him, I said, what? I never had anybody at church say that to me. And he said, besides, what is that you got in your truck? I said, well, it's a drill and a skill saw. He said, what you going to use the drill for? I said, I don't know. But I just felt like the Lord told me to get a drill and a skill saw. He said, well, that skill saw ain't no good. It's not going to cut that hard wood. And you need some real equipment. And I thought, okay, I know that, but the Lord told me to do it, right? He said, well, you get going and I'll take care of all of this. And I said, all right. Never met the man before, had all the timber there and everything that I needed. And he went about getting everything fixed. Well, I look back on that, and I remember I never told anybody what I was going to do. And who that guy was, I don't know. He just drove up out of the blue. After he fixed the porch, I never saw him again. He did an excellent job on it. He did the steps and everything that was rotten, and I was looking at it, and I'm going, Lord, all I had to do was obey one command, buy a drill and a skill saw, whether I needed them or not. I was going, okay, I did what he told me, and he sent me somebody to take care of it and didn't even use my tools that I bought. So you figure this with me, can you? Because here it is. I do a simple little task of obedience, and God sends the help. One simple little task of obedience. I'd have been forever doing all of that, and he did it in record time. I look back on it and I go, Lord, I'm going to try to obey you with every little whisper. Now, I will tell you this, I'm not perfect in doing that. Some people are so good they can obey the first time. I wish I could do that. A lot of times I can, but sometimes I want to banter with the Lord and argue a little bit because some things don't make sense. That one didn't make sense. And the reason I already had a drill and a skill saw. Nevertheless, once I did it, he sent the help. Maybe that'll help you somewhere down the road, and the Lord speaks to you about something that's simplistic and it doesn't make any sense. Just do it and watch God do a miracle. God bless you guys, and go in peace. Love you. Bye.